yazi into angazibona ngathini lona lichenjekile alisesengilo ngoba angithi lokhaya umntwana nalele sile kwagangileko ubuthathiswa zumthusi uthi ungasayenza le.
My whole life I've looked up to older people as it just seemed logical to me that these are the people that have done it. They've got all the secrets. Why wouldn't you ask them? It was interesting for me as a young guy. I had my first kid this year. I'm just starting a family. I'm really just starting my career in many ways. To go out and get to talk to all these people who've sort of done it and basically ask them, how'd you do it? And how do you feel now about how you did it and what'd you learn? You know, when I thought about my own role in this project, I kind of saw myself as a servant to the pursuit of wisdom.
Even the person who has committed the most abominable atrocity still remains a child of God.
Ultimately, you cannot control people by fear because their ultimate essence is constantly craving dignity.
One of the reasons I haven't slipped into some sort of retirement is I always feel like I'm learning something new all the time.
It's awfully sad that with our clever brain, capable of taking us to the moon, developing all these sophisticated ways of communicating around the planet, we seem to have lost wisdom. And that's the wisdom of the indigenous people, who would make a major decision based on how will this decision affect our people 7 generations ahead.
Wisdom isn't an old guy on the top of a mountain with a loincloth and waist-length hair. Wisdom, to me, isn't an answer anyway. Wisdom is a question.
The question that arose was, how do we figure this project out from an aesthetic point of view, from a conceptual point of view, from a process point of view? I knew that we had to create something that would travel. There was a lot of carrying cases, and there was a lot of on and off airplanes. I think that each of us flew about 150 hours to do this and drove a few thousand miles and stayed in a couple hundred hotel rooms, and I knew that we would have to create something that would be able to be set up in all sorts of environments. We didn't know if we were going to be in a roadside motel or an ex-prime minister's office. One of the things that I knew that I wanted to do was to create an environment that I could place all of these subjects into that was entirely consistent, entirely democratic. I'm most interested in how you can get closest to the actual subject. And not the subject in relationship to its environment, but the subject itself. The solution to that problem was to clarify the whole situation by putting everyone on white. We're not seeing the Prime Minister in front of his great wall of books and the artists in the studio surrounded by his paintings. We ran an incredibly tight ship. You know, we had 17 cases. We had no equipment that was extraneous. We could show up, we could set up the set in a matter of minutes, and we wasted no time. I was able to photograph the matriarch of the Ndebele tribe in the middle of the bush in Africa, and I was able to photograph Senator Ted Kennedy minutes from Congress, but they existed on the exact same space. When you neutralize the environment and when you democratize the environment, the viewer is able to more easily understand and more easily see the essence of these people and also hear the essence of their words.
Meeting and working with people who are inspirational in and of themselves, I think inspires you to work hard and to continue the pathway to public life. You don't have to be a United States Senator to make a difference.
It hurts a lot to get your portrait taken by me because there's an enormous amount of light that hits your eye.
That's a terrible thing, that. But there's some people who, if they've been photographed like that, it would damage them. Thought you were shooting me there.
Sorry about that. Is that too much?
Never seen anything like that before.
I need that much light because I want to reveal the topography of the face. I want something that opens everything up. By revealing all of the hills and valleys of the face, we actually get a closer view.
I always thought that a person's face is kind of roadmap of the life that they've led. If you've laughed your whole life, you have laugh lines. If you frowned your whole life, you have furrows on your brow. Sometimes you have both.
I came into this project as a director and a photographer, but had no experience interviewing anyone. And I remember the first person I interviewed was Michael Parkinson. So how poetic that the first person I interviewed is the guy that has interviewed everyone. And I remember him walking into the studio that we were shooting at in London, and I said to him, you know, thank you so much for being a part of this project and for giving me your time, and I just want you to know I've never interviewed anyone before. So be nice and teach me how to interview.
It's a very strange business being famous. I mean, nowadays, celebrity is almost a lifestyle, isn't it? It's almost a career. I mean, kids grow up thinking, oh, I'll be a celebrity. And I think that kind of empty celebrity and the fame that might follow, even fleetingly, is dangerous.
Once we began to work out our aesthetic process, we would have these long conversations about, well, what do we ask these people and what is this really about? We knew we weren't as interested in professional achievements or humanitarian achievements. It was about life achievements and how they've been family people and how they've been friends and how they've been lovers and how they've been artists and teachers and all of these different things that we sort of get to experience and all the different roles that we get to experience throughout our life.
You can't face a situation and go, oh, page 43, oh, that's what I do. There is no booklet when it comes to kids. You can only raise kids as openly and as honestly as possible.
Don't take the person for granted. Don't ever think that they're going to come back to you just because you happen to be married.
When you have a little child and it's there, you look at that child and say it has to become something. It's already something. It's already what it is.
If you have an occupation that isn't just ironing and washing and cooking, which I've done all my life, I'm not decrying it, but you're a more interesting person to your children.
It was great. It was like going to graduate school on this generation. Each subject required hours of research. So we would read their books or see their films or look at their art. We would do tons of research on writings that other people had done on these people and try and get the most holistic view of who these people were so that when we showed up, we could efficiently and effectively get the most out of the very short time that we had with these people.
Now, gentlemen, you cannot make a huge production. I got about 15, 20 minutes.
I'll do it very quickly.
That better be a great picture.
It's going to be awesome.
Always be on the challenging edge of saying we can do better. And that if you are a social citizen, you are responsible for the condition you find yourself in.
If you want to either engage in or create public discourse, I would say, do it through the work. If it becomes provocative enough to get people to talk about it, that's probably the best.
Your best work is your expression of yourself. Now, you may not be the greatest at it, but when you do it, you're the only expert in it.
Nobody can teach me who I am. You can describe parts of me, but who I am and what I need, these are things I have to find out myself.
I do believe that this project is sort of like our global elders communicating to the global village, and in the way that we did it, thematically, in a democratized space, these people are actually able to have a conversation with each other. It really is like a global village, and we really are providing a forum for the elders of the global village to communicate to us.